Science.
Hello, welcome to Probably Science. My name's Andy Wood.
I'm Jesse Case.
And I'm Matt Kirshen, and I'm going to be in Seattle this weekend, so just getting that plug in at the beginning of the show in case no one makes it all the way through the episode. Check me out. Come and see me if you're anywhere near Seattle at Laughs Comedy Club.
Great
I
club.
will be there. I'll be talking.
Matt,
next door to that club. This is crazy, you guys. Next door. I'm kidding. Little inside joke for everyone on the podcast. Do we have a guest?
We do. We do have a guest who has no relation to the venue next door to the comedy club, which may or may not have had a serial killer. We might have gone down a rabbit hole with this before we started recording. I've just spilled it. But our guest is the very funny comedian, improviser, writer, actor, maker of things. It's Jo Rou. Hey, Jo.
Hi, thanks for having me. And, I am not guilty.
Yeah.
By reason of insanity.
It's true, I am crazy funny.
Now, I always research our guests a little bit, and the main photo of you that pops up on the Google thing there is you're in a lab coat. What's going on?
That's interesting.
What's happening?
So
that's why you're the guest. Tell us about what you're a doctor in. Teach us the science. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, I think one of my agents wanted me to get a picture in a lab coat because there were a lot of medical gigs he wanted to submit me for. Not that funny, but yeah.
But that's also just how unimaginative a lot of casting people are.
Right.
Like, I could see this person in a regular coat, but I just can't imagine what it would be like if that coat was white. Like, what could it be?
They're so unimaginative. And even you see it the most in cartoons, like like Danny DeVito played the Lorax. They're like, we're gonna need a short guy for the short cartoon.
This guy doesn't work. He sounds too tall.
I can't picture it. I need to picture it.
We've brought this up before, but like I haven't auditioned for a commercial for a long time. Like, out of no longer having that agent, but when I did, I remember being told if you're auditioning for a sitcom or a drama, and do not dress up as the character. They think that's crazy. Like, dress kind of a bit like the character. If it's a lawyer, wear a suit or something smart, and if it's a punk, don't wear a suit. But that's it. But then
my
you go to
soon-to-be ex-agent feels differently.
Yeah. Well, you go to a commercial audition, and there's just like a room full of people. There's normally it's normally in a room that has like multiple commercials casting at the same time, and there'll be just like 30 soldiers standing in the corner, and then like a bunch of nurses, and then like some circus clowns, and it's just like everyone is fully. It's exactly what like the kind of stereotype of a casting office is. Like,
absolutely, and I think it's a good
30 clowns
idea.
Walking out.
Any other audition, you should show up in a lab coat. Just anything you audition for, because they'll be like, she's probably just taking a break from very important work.
Yeah, I'm just trying to command more respect. So
yeah,
I
show
figure,
up.
Yeah, just call me doctor.
Must be a professor of acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did do a recent stage name change, so that might be also why the lab coat is what you're seeing first. But
I didn't know this.
Yeah, I mean, it was just my name, which is longer, and I just shortened it, so people will say it. That's about it. But yeah, I'm starting to go by doctor these days.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Doctor of laughs. You know who's the doctor of grooves?
Who's that, Andy?
I just posted a picture. Before we started recording, we were talking about Beats by Dre headphones. And when I was in line at the grocery outlet in Yucca Valley, I think I saw the exact opposite.
By the way,
What's that?
Wow.
Santana
I will post.
Beats.
Yeah, I will post a link to this so you can enjoy.
This is Carlos Santana brand earbuds.
Guess how much they cost?
So the photo is they're $4.99. That's $4.
As in period after the 4. Yeah.
$4.99. But then it shows there's a lock. They have to get them for you. If you look,
That's a very good point. I didn't
there's
even
a
notice
lock
that.
on the. You have to request.
Oh my God!
You'd be like, listen, I'm feeling smooth today, and
That's because elsewhere it sells for as high as $9.99, and you can really
elsewhere, $9.99.
$5 headphones, only the best.
Yeah,
At that price point, I feel like Rob Thomas was involved.
Absolutely,
It had to be a collab.
Wow.
How much do you think they're worth from that song? Because I think that must be the most played bad song.
The headphones don't work unless they're playing that song.
They can only play, and it doesn't matter what you plug it into, like a pumpkin, like anything. It'll just be, oh, let's forget about it.
Well, it's a hot one.
Yeah.
It's like those kids' toy guitars that you get that actually just have like 3 songs programmed into them, and you press the button on the front and it plays it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's just like my first headphones. Playing Santana featuring Rob Thomas.
Cut to them being used on a Ghost Hunters show.
Is Carlos in the room with us right now? I could hear something.
Wow. That is from the album Supernatural.
That's a good point.
Yeah, the Grammy winning.
He's got a lot of magical, Black Magic Woman. Didn't he do a cover of that?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Yeah, he's sending us messages from the other side.
Mm-hmm. He's alive, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but,
The other side of Van Nuys. Like,
right,
it's just
exactly.
like,
It's crazy
across
there.
the valley. Anyway.
So these are Santana earbuds. Now, Joe, you're talking. Do you still have a sock on the thing?
I do still have a sock.
It
Can
sounds
you
like the
tell?
sock is still on it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, cool.
It's slipping every once in a while, but
that is on the previously popping microphone. We should say rather than just leaving that as a. Do you have a sock on the thing?
I just
anyway,
fucking
on with the
love
show.
microphones.
Well, yeah, like Carlos has his headphones, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers have their own signature line of microphones that come with a sock over.
Yeah, for when you really love music. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the Spirit Halloween Anthony Kiedis costume. It's a microphone and a sock. That's Anthony Kiedis or me in high school. Wow.
What would the generic word be on the Spirit? California rocker? Like, what's the?
Oh, right. Yeah.
The name of the.
Yeah. California pedophile.
Jesus. Are we starting that rumor about Kiedis?
I mean, is it a rumor?
I've never heard this before. I don't know.
It's Kiedis. He does. It's like you have like your Leo DiCaprio's that don't go over 25, and then you have your don't go over 19 people.
I didn't know this. Okay.
You know what I mean? But I think if we're talking about legal definitions, I don't think so. But if we're talking about makes you go ugh, then yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's different. There's legality, but then there's like making you go ugh.
I just didn't. It's like the Cosby stuff before he went to jail, where it was just open secret. But I didn't. This is an open secret.
Oh no! This is. I don't even think it's a secret. I don't think it's anything.
Well, Cosby wasn't a secret either. But I just, some people were surprised, and it was like, you hadn't heard the rumors. I just hadn't heard these rumors yet. So.
Oh no! I'm not implying any criminality on any of the Chili Peppers.
Whatever.
I'm simply saying that Anthony Kiedis likes having a real young girlfriend all the time.
Okay, I see.
But it's not like a secret. It's like it's all over TMZ and all the stuff all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. I got it.
Leaving a Ralph's or what have you.
Can't even.
And it's just the kind of thing where you're like,
Gelson's?
yeah, and you just look and you go, ugh. That's all. You're not like, should I call someone? You just go, ugh.
They should reboot that song. Things that make you go,
That's all.
Yeah.
Anyway. How do we pivot out of that?
I don't know. Is this
What
my
would
fault
his
'cause of the
headphones be like?
Joe, that's how Joe deals. Is just do some fun games.
Just laugh through it.
Just laugh through it. We got to laugh through it. Joe, one thing we ask all of our guests that thankfully is completely unrelated to Anthony Kiedis is. What's your background in science, if you have any? And this could be
and that's
literally anything.
classes. range from classes you liked or hated at school to blowing stuff up in the woods with your friends.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. Oh, my sock's fallen.
Yeah, you can
I
just,
think we can go sockless.
We can go sockless.
All right. Whew.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, just kidding.
I forgot that Joe also does a kind of Michael Winslow kind of thing.
Well, no, it was so kind of you to join us on your solo flight across the Atlantic to
Yeah, no problem.
do this podcast.
Just real quick, I have to give the first class cabin some snacks real quick.
Sure,
I'll be
sure.
right back. Yeah. No, so yeah, I was thinking about this. My history with science, I loved looking at the stars as a kid. I used to want to be an astronaut. I was pretty good at math until I got to physics, and we had to learn concepts. And I kind of stopped there. I remember in high school, I went to a public school, and I feel like it might have failed me a little bit. I was in an advanced chemistry class, but the only thing I remember learning is the card game euchre.
Oh,
Yeah.
what state? I'm sorry. Did you say what state this was?
Ohio.
Okay,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Northeast
yeah,
Ohio. Yeah.
I'm from
Are you
Southeast
from-
Michigan. We are
okay.
the epicenter of euchre territory. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was an important skill at the time for
yeah.
survival, but didn't really help me with chemistry. And I remember my physics teacher, he did cover for me while I skipped class once to buy the Chicago soundtrack. It's kind of dating me a little bit, but and I guess I'm a nerd, a theater nerd or something. But so that's most of my
why was your
experience with
teacher?
science.
Why did your teacher cover for you on that situation?
I think probably he was on tenure or something. He was just kind of like, well, have fun.
Now, is this Chicago like the Catherine Zeta-Jones Chicago?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
that's the one. Yeah, so that one makes sense to if I
Well,
was going.
yeah. I mean, my school did a mass walkout.
Yeah.
No one stayed. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's like, people, this is in theaters. My other science experience is during the ECT, I was filling out the science section answers, but I was in the reading portion. But
no.
I was reading about Jupiter. So
Okay.
I don't know who's really the villain.
Right.
Public school system.
I didn't even. I went to public school and I didn't even have I never had chemistry or anything. We got you'd be a senior in high school and we made it to algebra 2. This was in Tennessee, where it's what that's long division. That's college stuff. We would just kind of sit around. What's that?
That sorcery is left for.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Look
never.
at Mr. Two-hand counting here.
Yeah, and leave that to the coastal elites.
Exactly. Yeah, chemistry. That sounds.
You just learn how to fix a car.
Something. Yeah, it was very unfortunately, everything people think it is. This was here. Yeah. Nobody bought Chicago. No one skipped. I bought Chicago. Nobody bought Chicago.
Yeah.
In my day, we bought Peter Cetera albums. That's the Chicago we were leaving school for. I'm a man who will fight for your honor. Joe, what city in Ohio did you grow up in?
I'm from the Cleveland area. I
Okay.
kind of hopped around Cleveland, Akron, if you're familiar.
I am, and I'm curious if I have a science tie-in to that area. If you were within a 5-hour drive of Sandusky, Ohio, I feel like there was a day when your physics class would go to Cedar Point and use that as a thinly veiled excuse to just ride roller coasters, but you were supposed to figure out some experiment to do while you're there? Put a penny on your knee or something? Did you guys do that?
Yeah, I think we did one, and it was at Geauga Lake, actually. I don't know if you remember that one.
No.
Okay, later Six Flags bought it. But just a lesser known one. I don't know, where's it, Aurora? But about 45 minutes from Sandusky. Sandusky was for after prom, though, the day after.
You'd go to Cedar Point for after prom party?
Yeah, I guess the day after everyone's technically over their hangover.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we put pennies on things and
That's
and
all you
ate
could do.
nachos
Really.
and got sick and was like, there, well, we learned you shouldn't have done that.
Yep.
And centrifugal force, we learned about that.
I feel like my
Penny.
prom experience was not like other people's prom hangover. Like mine was the most lame. No one got laid. Like it was the weirdest. It was like I think I was home by 10 p.m. or something. You know?
So I went to our school had an after prom, and I was excited to go because my friend Jacob was like, "We're gonna smoke weed before," and I was new to weed.
Oh yeah.
Like love to get involved, and they had one of those like blow up slides and stuff. Immediately after I got there, I slid down the slide and I jammed my right hand pretty bad, and you couldn't leave until 4 a.m. So in so much pain. We didn't even do the weed.
You didn't do the weed?
We didn't do no weed. It was all just a ruse. So I was just stuck there with a messed up elbow,
hanging out with Anthony
4 a.m.
Kiedis.
Yeah, not even. He was outside in a car smoking weed out of a pop can without me.
Brutal.
So yeah, and my arm's still kind of messed up to this day. I can tell when the weather's going to change. So
because of your arm, or was that the weirdest non sequitur?
Because of my arm, yeah. Because I was like, I gotta focus on school, and I became a meteorologist.
Long story short, because of my knee, I know when it's going to storm. Did anyone get pregnant at prom? Did anyone show up later pregnant?
So I was not in that group that would be in the
I'm not
that.
I'm not implying that, but I mean any classmates were there a common public school experience that I've had, and maybe this is even more common in private schools, I don't know. By the time you get up to senior year, there's a lot of pregnant folks around.
Yeah,
Sure.
there were a couple pregnant folks, but I don't know the conception date. So,
Right.
I can't remember if this one person was pregnant during the whole school year, or if it was towards the end where we're like, Samantha got pregnant.
Now, did Samantha claim that she just got pregnant by herself? Is that what happened?
I see where
no,
we're
but
going
her
here, Jesse.
boyfriend did.
Her boyfriend. Okay. Well, guys, let me tell you something. Zookeepers say they've solved the mystery of how a gibbon got pregnant by herself.
Is this will be a story I can see, by the way, why David Mass might have sent this story in, knowing the history of our show.
Yeah, and it was a long walk for that segue.
I'll tell you
I feel like I was just being so invasive to try to do a segue. And did anyone make love after prom? It feels so
what
creepy.
Positions? Tell us
just
the
I
positions.
got rejected.
the date of conception, did you notice? Just so I could do intro to this stupid story. No, the story's not stupid. It's fascinating. What were you saying there, Matt?
Oh, I was going to say, in a second, once we've read a bit of the story, I will tell you what the subject of the email that David sent.
It was a good subject. Yeah.
I think let's read a little bit of the story first.
Well, Momo is a gibbon.
Well, that's a gibbon. Yeah.
Oh, Andy. This story is in Vice News, by the way, as well, so it's really high level.
Yeah, big stuff. I mean, but you're aware of the gibbons, you're ZZ Top and such, but the Momo was a single gibbon. And Momo the gibbon was kept in a cage by herself in a Japanese zoo, but life found a way. So, for 2 years, a zoo in southern Japan has been puzzled by a mystery. How did Momo, a gibbon kept alone in her cage, get pregnant? The 12-year-old white-handed gibbon lived by herself and was never joined by a companion. Some of her neighbors are males, sure, but their cages are separated by sturdy bars and jagged chicken wire fencing. It was inconceivable to the zookeepers that they could have mated through the 2 layers of barriers. She gave birth in 2021 to a yet unnamed male gibbon with black hair and white fur trimming around its face. But with the help of DNA tests, Zookeepers in Nagasaki Prefecture have identified the baby gibbon's father, and they say they figured out how the ape's parents met. And then, this is just an ad for Tinder.
I was going to say Tinder, yeah.
After enlisting a researcher to analyze the DNA in stool and hair samples collected last year for Momo, her child, and 4 potential fathers,
Kujukushima. Oh, yeah.
Kujukushima Zoo and Botanical Garden on Tuesday announced the identity. They did. They announced announced the identity of the father, Ito, a 34-year-old agile gibbon.
Is agile gibbon a specific species subject?
They're just presuming. They're presuming.
Okay. They just want you to know he's an athlete.
Just flattering it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it took us 2 years to figure it out because we couldn't get close enough to collect samples. She was very protective of her child, says Yun Yamano, the zoo superintendent. But that still left one burning question unanswered. If she never had direct contact with Ito, how did she get pregnant in the first place? The zoo had no hard evidence like surveillance footage, but Yamano said the ape's point of contact was probably a hole in the wall measuring 9 millimeters in diameter. A perfect glory hole size for a gibbon.
We knew that, yeah.
Everyone knows that's a standard. That's a standard GGH. That's a gibbon glory hole.
Yeah,
and David's email subject is "Life will find a glory hole." So there we go. It doesn't say. It doesn't say on this, but I do know from another article that hole they mistakenly painted like a mouth around it. So that
I know. Yeah, that's a problem. It took us 2 years to figure it out. Oh, wait, I already read all that. Oh, so at the zoo, Momo and Ito take turns going on display in the morning and afternoon in an exhibition area right in front of Momo's cage. The 2 spaces are separated by a partition, a perforated board that supposedly prevents the apes from mingling. So there was this hole, and they say, we think it's very likely that on one of the days that Ito was in the exhibition space, they copulated through a hole. Such mating habits are unheard of, he said. Normally, the zoos pair gibbons after a series of trial and error to familiarize the apes with each other.
Do you think the zookeeper is in trouble for maybe watching porn on his laptop and giving the gibbon some ideas? Something,
yeah. I'd say more so for...
They had to learn that somehow.
I'd say more so for drilling the hole.
Yeah.
What's this unexplained hole? What...
But it's also 9 millimeters. That's a third of an inch. This is a tiny. I'm not criticizing any of the animals involved.
All right,
I'm just bragging impressed. A little, Andy. With
impressed.
Yeah, long but thin dick.
Sure. Yeah. Get that dipstick. Yeah.
Yeah. Agile indeed.
Yeah. What would be the reason for the glory hole if it wasn't for that specific purpose?
I have no idea.
What's the zookeeper's response?
I don't know.
Was it just a piece of wood that happened to have a hole, like a knot or something, or what's the?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, anything can happen with a gibbon.
I think it was manually drilled by the gibbon.
Yeah, gibbon themselves. Yeah, any gibbon partition is drillable.
It's he has a poster of Rita Hayworth, and underneath it he's digging out that hole. Yeah, just like Shawshank.
Now he's
one day he stopped fucking that poster and moved over to the hole on the other side.
Yep. Now he's building a boat in Mexico.
Yeah.
Who do you think initiated this though? How it just I can't. I assume this is an opaque partition, so all you have is a third of an inch hole and nothing. You don't see anything, or just the smells alone.
At the very least, you're going to have to say that they are equally at fault here.
Oh yes, I just wonder if it's
appraised, depending on how you want to frame it.
It's impressive.
So obviously, but I think the one really rolling the dice here is Ito. Obviously, Ito had to just put his dick in a hole and hope.
Yeah.
Hope it worked out, and it
about
did.
The traveling salesman and the farmer and the
imagine you're living your life in the wild and you get captured and taken away from your family, and then you never see another gibbon again, and then one day you randomly stick your dick in a hole and there's a gibbon vagina on the other side. That's insane.
As far as you know,
right?
It's winning the lotto, I guess.
Yeah, what are the odds of this? That's crazy.
But do you think Ito even knows that's what happened?
I think so.
You know, and also it's 100 no's for every yes. So what were the other?
Yeah. How many holes are in this zoo?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's very interesting because in the wild, they select their mates based on physical appearance, social behavior, and vocalization, such as the complex songs they sing. The zoo didn't say what, if anything, Ito did to woo Momo. Since the mystery has been solved...
you can still do, like, vocalizations. You can still hear that through a wall.
Sure.
Yeah, but what if this is like one of those porn things, like getting stuck in a dryer? Where what if poor Momo...
A dryer?
Yeah, you know in porn they're always getting stuck in dryers now?
No.
It's a big problem.
Okay.
Just put your clothes on a line, let them air dry.
This is a massive problem.
Okay.
Andy, I'm surprised you don't know about this just from the many other times Jesse has brought it up on Probably Science.
The podcast we do.
Genie's stock is down.
So anyway, it's maybe she got stuck in some way. I don't know, and needed a hand.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I guess that's also the old Winnie the Pooh story. You know, didn't he? Isn't he the first stuck in a dryer story?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, but he was looking for cheese, right?
Yeah,
I think
or honey.
Surely honey, which is his
no,
name.
but he said there might be some cheese down there. That's why he did it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why he went in so deep, is he thought there might be cheese at the bottom, which is always, I'm serious, which is fucking weird. But
Pooh, you nasty.
Is that a glory jar? Is it considered a glory jar in that case?
That's a Portishead song.
Well, thank you, David Moss, for sending this story in. Again,
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know why you would have thought we would cover this.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's just because we have nothing else. It's perverse of you to assume we would like to talk about that.
Yeah. Should we talk about?
Should we talk about it more? Yes. Oh no.
Well, should we talk about the little radioactive thing that was discovered in Australia after being lost in Australia? I know Justin Brawl sent it in amongst others, and there's a BBC link here, but
no, what's going
I think
on?
This is pretty topical. Did you? I don't know if you caught the beginning of the story or the end or none of it, but a tiny, very, very radioactive capsule was lost by an Australian mining company somewhere along a road that is the length of approximately Washington, D.C. to Orlando, Florida. So, it's used in a gauge, in sensing material in Australian mining. And it was being transported, and then they were like, oops, we lost it somewhere along this road that is bigger than... It is also, for British listeners, it is the entire diagonal length of Britain, is the length of this road.
Right, and this is a pea-sized capsule.
Yeah, it's the size of a pea.
And for the British listeners, it's not a mushy pea. It's a regular pea.
Solid pea, and it filled with cesium-137, which is a very radioactive isotope of cesium, and used in radiation gauges in mining to measure the density of certain materials.
Now, what happens if you come into contact with one there, Matt?
You get pretty badly burned pretty quickly, and if you keep holding onto it, then you pretty much guarantee yourself some cancer there. And they were like, we don't know where it is. It's somewhere along the road. It may have been picked up in the tread of another vehicle's tire and then just transported any distance. And driven anywhere.
Right.
So basically, the distance of Land's End to John O'Groats it is in Britain, which is the furthest apart two towns in Britain. That's like, if that's the... Some people do it as like charity walks and stuff, and it's... or east coast of the US to Florida. Northeast to... like, it's a long, long way. And so they set off in this massive... They piled a bunch of sensors into some trucks and drove them up and down this road, and they found it. They found this pea-sized thing about 2 meters off the side of the road. And
they just followed the trail of dead people with holes in their hands. Yeah. 9mm size hole, and then there was a gibbon that ran. It was a mess. Tying it together.
It was certainly possible.
Those gibbons' children will be huge.
It could so easily be transported in another vehicle, or just swallowed by an animal, or just any number of things could have happened.
Yeah.
That would have been horrendous. but it seems like it didn't come into contact with a person, and it also seems like it it was it basically it was discovered. It didn't burn anyone. It didn't get transported any other distance. It seems like it was as much of a success story as you can hope for from the starting point of losing a very, very radioactive thing that's tiny in an area the size of a country.
Yeah, the only thing is we didn't get any new Marvel characters from it, huh?
Well, we don't know that. I mean, not yet.
It's true.
Not
Give it
yet.
some time.
Yeah.
Give it some time.
A new season. I did enjoy that Chernobyl series. That was fun.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that was a nice, fun series.
Yeah, very fun.
That led... Oh, go ahead.
That was well, Holly and I were visiting a friend of hers from school up in Colorado, and her guy was like, the three of us had all seen the series and we were talking about it, and he hadn't seen any of it yet. So I think it was like 4 episodes had been broadcast at this point. So he's like, I need to catch up on this. I'm not doing anything tomorrow night. I guess I'll just marathon it. And we were like, you will not marathon it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, you're not going to watch 4 episodes of this show in a row. And the next time we saw it, I was like, yeah, I did not watch 4 episodes of that in a row.
It was interesting how they just bailed on accents. Like, everyone just had like an Irish accent.
Well, they had the accents of the places that the actors were from. Yeah, they just went like, do your regular accent.
Right. They did the Kevin Costner method of I'm not learning a new voice. You know?
Well, if you're not going to actually have them be Russian actors and then have subtitles, anything else is also weird. Like, why would they be speaking English in any way, let alone with a Russian accent? Like,
no, but it was weird.
Exactly.
Welcome to
like
Chernobyl.
A suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, they're like, everyone be Tom Hanks in Elvis. Have you heard
I haven't
him
seen
in
that yet, but I've heard it's weird.
It's
weird.
very weird.
it might be totally accurate. I just never knew that guy was Dutch. So the whole time I'm like, what the fuck is this? Then I'm Googling it. Okay, he was Dutch. Maybe that's what he sounded like. It's just fucking... Dutch is already the weirdest accent in the world, so...
Yeah.
It is. It's a deeply weird accent.
This capsule, I wonder if this is anywhere near where listener Russell Porter works. I know most of his work was at mines in the northern part of Western Australia, which is like the outbackiest outback there is.
Yeah, that's true. It is Western Australia. And
what a name for an area.
What, just Western
Australia?
Australia?
Also,
no, outback. It's like, that there, it's outback. Well, that's round front, and that's outback. So not round front? No.
But yeah, that's it is quite possible that he works up that way. Yeah, because he worked in mining, because it was his very kindly donated air miles that got us out to Perth to be able to do a show there when we were already in Australia. So that was, and it was on the basis of him flying from Perth to the mining towns.
Right. I really had no idea until that trip just how empty Australia is. Like, aside from 6 cities or whatever, it's just empty.
It is a massive, massive country compared to its population, and Perth. I think Perth isn't Perth technically like the most remote major city in the world?
Oh yeah, but I think it sort of depends on what your definition of all those things are. But yeah, it's.
But it's like it doesn't have any other cities or any other sort of urban environments of more than a certain size within. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think, like, also its nearest cities are not in Australia.
Oh, are they Indonesia or something? Or
I think so. I'm trying to remember which other countries they're in, but it's definitely
maybe?
like other countries have places closer to Perth than any of the other Australian cities.
Yeah. Oh God, my geography is awful with that guess of Sri Lanka. That's insanely off.
I didn't hear you say Sri Lanka.
Let's just pretend I didn't. Yeah.
No, you didn't. I didn't hear anything.
Jakarta seems like maybe. Yeah, it is middle of nowhere, but beautiful. We got those quokkas. We got to go to Rat's Nest Island and see the cutest infestation.
Yeah,
and no radiation, probably.
No radiation.
Yeah, probably no radiation now.
They did say in other articles I read around this that this is far from the only time that they've lost radioactive things. It's just like...
I'm sure.
But yeah, Russell, if you're listening and you happen to know or any other people who work in Australian mining or on Australian engineering, then let us know how frequently things go missing like that.
Yeah. That's although wait. So what was the actual level of the sieverts or whatnot? Like how bad would it be to hold this in your hand for an hour? I heard from one story that like it would give you the equivalent of like 10 X-rays an hour. Or
10
something,
X-rays
which
an
is
hour.
Like,
it says.
Okay, that's what I heard somewhere. Yeah,
And
which is not
that would
that
be expensive.
bad. That's yeah.
I just got an X-ray. It's expensive.
Yeah. Well, this might be free, and then you just don't get any useful medical advice out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe you die a little younger. But
Yeah. Once you send me the bill, I might as well. Jesus.
well, speaking of getting cancer from things, Matt actually found an interesting story in The Guardian about sort of AI related, or at least like surprising ways of using data.
One of those, well, so there's been stories in the past that have been, kind of a little worrying about loyalty cards from stores, like knowing that someone's pregnant before they do, or like before their family does. But this is the story that loyalty card data could help spot ovarian cancer cases sooner.
Interesting.
So, yeah, they so pain and indigestion medication purchases were higher in women who went on to be diagnosed with ovarian cancer, usually about 8 months later, according to a study of almost 300 women led by Imperial College London researchers. Dr. James Flanagan, lead author, said, "The cancer symptoms we're looking for are very common, but for some women they can be the first signs of something more serious. As we know, early diagnosis of ovarian cancer is key to improving chances of survival. We hope this research can lead to cancer symptoms being picked up earlier and improve patients' options for treatment." So yeah, it was also funded by Cancer Research UK and includes scientists from UCL and Birmingham Uni. And it was the first of its kind for cancer. Early symptoms include loss of appetite, stomach pain, and bloating, which leads some people buying painkillers and digestive aids such as antacids instead of visiting a doctor, because they do not think their condition is serious. The lack of clear signs results in many people with ovarian cancer being diagnosed late, often when it's already spread and when their likelihood of survival is much lower. And yeah, Fiona Murphy, who's an ovarian cancer patient who helped develop the study, said she lived on Gaviscon for 18 months before she was diagnosed in 2008.
Was that antacid?
Antacid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is a popular UK brand of antacid. It went everywhere with me due to severe acid reflux. Had this been associated with ovarian cancer, I would have had a faster diagnosis, far less surgeries, and better fertility options, she said.
Wait, it wasn't associated with she's just saying if they'd seen it, in her case it was. She's just saying had it been...
I think it is...
Had someone seen the association?
It is a previously known symptom, I think. I believe this story is suggesting that it is a previously known symptom. They didn't find that out just from examining the loyalty card data. But they found out that they can use loyalty card data to flag up potential problems.
By loyalty card, do you mean from like your pharmacy, or just looking at your credit card?
Your CVS.
Just no, I think they mean from the pharmacy.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like, probably like your Boots card or whatever it is that they're using in the UK, equivalent like CVS card or whatever.
So they'll send you some coupons and then like a suggestion for an endoscopy.
Exactly.
What a bummer.
$20 off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the endoscopy, at least for the moment, is still free. Let's see how long that lasts.
Yeah, I guess we can maybe wouldn't be connected to the ovaries. I know things. Man.
Wait, oh no.
But while you're in
there. Yeah.
Went so Matt, deep it hit my ovaries. I'm telling you.
There you go.
Matt, was the implication there that the public health system is changing or something? I don't know the...
Yeah, it is being dismantled piecemeal by a government who don't necessarily have the best of intentions.
Are they just sort of trying to chase the U.S. model because it's working out so well?
Yeah, it's just it's purely coincidental that a lot of the people currently in government have both investments and donors who have money related to various private healthcare companies and hedge funds and so on. It's coincidental. It's nothing to do with ideologically opposed to any kind of welfare state. It's
I am enjoying.
It's just everything's an accident.
I am enjoying since Boris Johnson's out. Now he's just like all the shit he's talking. is like very funny to me because
Like
it's completely irresponsible. You know,
He will at least try to be back.
I know.
I don't know if you saw that they airbrushed him out of a photo.
No.
Airbrushed Boris Johnson. That's not how you spell airbrushed at all.
Yeah, hold on. Airbrush Johnson, I got way different stuff. This is crazy. Oh, jeez. Whoa. That's crazy.
Back to the gibbon story.
Back to the gibbons.
Can you just like increase it from a little more than 9 millimeters, maybe?
Can we just talk about some contouring? What do you guys think about this idea? This is completely, this is totally unrelated. Okay, here's the idea. It's like something you build it and sell it or whatever. Here's my big idea, right?
Okay.
It's and then this is all assumed that this would all be. I don't need to give a fucking disclaimer. You should never send anyone a non-consensual photo. Here's my point. It's a
Of anything at all?
Ever. No.
Of a picture of anything?
Of anything.
Of anything.
You have to ask
Okay.
permission. Say like, would you like to see the lunch I had today?
Okay.
No, because this has to do with penis stuff.
You should know that that's a euphemism.
Yep.
Yeah.
What it is. It's like these little boxes with a hole in them, right? But one of the walls is missing, and it's like you put your dick in it and take a picture, but it makes it look like it's something different, like on a set. Like it's like the shark in Jaws, you know, like going up on a ship, or like the Eiffel Tower. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like a background, like a dick pic background set.
Okay.
Like your dick's on vacation.
Something, but you could make them also for vaginas and boobs, or any naughty thing.
Sure.
You think that's a good idea?
Oh, you're saying? I thought you said this does exist. You're saying, is there a market for this?
No. Is there a market for it? Would you buy one?
Like
as a
on
goof?
Etsy or something?
Yeah.
Like a diorama? You just buy a diorama?
Yeah,
that's
like a dick
delivered to you?
diorama. But like, different funny stuff.
Yeah, or maybe this probably does exist. Do you remember that book, the children's book, Very Hungry Caterpillar, or something about a caterpillar?
Sure.
And every page would have a hole, and you would see the caterpillar through it in a different environment.
Oh, yeah.
This might exist already.
Yeah, and it's growing each time. Yeah.
Put your dick in that.
That every page is a different. I think this actually. I might have
That
thought
I
of
can
it
tell
because
you
I
that
think
will sell.
I think it does exist. But no, the diorama. I mean, I think it's purely about the difficulty of manufacturing a 3D. Is it 3D printed? Like how are you mass producing these dioramas that are
You're not mass
high
producing.
quality?
You're selling like one a month.
Okay, you're just spending a lot of time.
This is like high end.
No,
Let's
this
see.
it's a dumb idea I
Bespoke.
had years ago, and I just remembered it because of all the talk about.
Would it be custom made to order? Like
No, it would just be a simple.
Or?
No, it would be just based on your old generic size, whatever. But then it would be like, it'd be like, this is the Hindenburg going down,
Right.
you know? Like crazy, and it'd just be kind of funny.
This is the burn word from English patient for some reason. And
Yeah. When Christmas card time comes around, it would be good.
Right, you do like a little Christmas tree.
Yeah, family photo.
Sure. Never. It's a horrible idea.
no,
To answer to your original question, Jesse, yes, you do still need to ask permission before sending that photo.
Yes, no, that wasn't the question. The question was about. I know all that. The question's about the. You think I would sell 3 or 4 of them? I'm not gonna make one. I'm not gonna.
I feel like you would sell. I feel like it would sell. I mean, anything to dress up a dick.
yeah.
Well,
love
but they're
that.
unpleasant. It's unpleasant. No one wants to.
Yeah, it would be probably a niche market.
It would be a niche market. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a surprising number of penis things on Etsy. I didn't know. I thought maybe there were rules against that kind of thing. I don't use much.
You can get anything on Etsy now.
Etsy.
It's crazy. Yeah, you can buy drugs on Etsy.
Interesting.
Some Silk Road Etsy. Let's
No,
see.
anyway, it was like I was like watching Shark Tank a couple years ago or something, and I was like, I've got an idea, and then I just remembered it. But I don't think I'm going to pursue it. If any of the listeners want to pursue it, just send us.
You get as far as the word sharks
Visit
before
our
you're wrestled
Patreon
out of the
page.
room.
Yeah.
Was that sorry, Joe?
Oh, I said visit our Patreon page.
Yeah.
All I'm asking for, sharks, is don't touch me. Get my hands off me. I want to show them.
I've gone ahead and prepared. Sitting in front of you, I've prepared. Yeah.
I heard that they got rid of the dick vein on the Snickers bar.
What? What's going on?
You hear about this?
You guys hear about this? No, I haven't. What's going on with the dick vein?
Right to your senators. I guess, Snickers used to have that little ridge on the top where you're like, oh, this chocolate's complete. This chocolate bar. I guess one could call it a dick vein.
Wait, hang on. It looks like this was... Okay. This is Twitter user Juniper, whose display handle is transgender marks, issued a doctored version of a news story, and it caused a right-wing moral panic. So it was entirely a scam, or not a scam, but a prank. But it got fully taken up, and then Tucker Carlson talked about it on Fox.
Oh wow! So yes, they did not remove it.
They did not remove it.
Oh, good.
No, it was never taken away.
Never gone.
So Juniper was parodying the Tucker Carlson Eminem outrage or whatever that, which I didn't.
Okay.
I never read enough of it to be bothered to find out what actually was going on. But I guess they changed the mascot in some way or the cartoon characters, and
I think the sexy Eminem is now just an empowered Eminem or something, or she wears sensible shoes.
They made her boobs smaller, and I'm upsset about it too. She's got smaller boobs.
Yeah.
But only because it's less chocolate. It's less chocolate.
Yeah, I want my money's worth.
No, the Eminem thing. I don't know what's going on with the.
But also, I have a little Berenstain Bears thing with this because. Am I crazy, or was Ginger Spice of the Spice Girls originally called Sexy Spice? Then they're like, oh no, we can't. These girls.
I think we've had this conversation, and it turns out it was, and I did not. No, I that was the case.
Okay.
Or there was, yeah.
I for the longest time I was like, what, Ginger? This is Sexy Spice, right? We're talking about Sexy Spice, and she was the one who had also done some page. What's the page in England for boob posts, boob pictures? Hadn't she done some topless modeling before that or something?
Yes. Yeah, she had.
Sexy Spice, Ginger Spice.
Sorry, I was distracted for a second reading about Snickers veins, so I didn't quite hear the question at first.
Oh, no, it's okay. And then Snickers itself tweeted, the veins remain, which is even creepier than anything else that happened.
Yeah, because that was tweeted before the story broke. That was just
throbbing with caramel nougat.
Yeah. Even in response, Baby Ruth added some balls. That's weird. Wow. Huh. What a world. What a world we live in. I've never thought about that when eating a Snickers. I've never thought.
Yeah, I think it's a stretch.
Yeah,
I've never.
It's a new thought now. I'm thinking about it now.
Which is fine. I've just never thought it looked particularly vascular.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Interesting. Andy, favorite candy bar?
Ooh. Oh man. I'm a weirdo who likes kind of fruity things, and this is very awful, but Charleston Chew might be it.
Okay.
So many different weird Charleston Chew with those weird nougat flavors.
That sounds like
a true gentleman.
I've never heard of that, but that sounds like someone parodying a 1950s a dance craze or something.
Yeah, I think it's based on. It might be from the 20s.
Probably is based on
it sounds like a Civil War maneuver.
The old Charleston Chew.
But yeah, I think it comes in.
That's how the doctors amputated the legs.
Yeah.
Oh man, have you guys watched All Quiet on the Western
Just
Front?
bite down on this piece of wood right now while I give you the old Charleston Chew.
Yeah.
Take 2 snifters of rum, and then here we go.
Yeah, I watched it. I'm a real WW1 nerd.
I didn't. First of all, here's a great use of ChatGPT if you're an idiot with history, as I am. Every time something comes up that I'm like, wait, what happened? I'm going straight to ChatGPT to just give me quick summaries of various World War I aspects. I didn't know about the whole Germany-Mexico alliance, for instance. Do you guys know about this?
Yeah, a lot of weird.
I didn't know.
Is that where the tubas come from?
I did know that. That's the tubas from northern Mexico are from the Germans, but I didn't know that Germany had an alliance, or they sent a telegram that we intercepted that told Mexico, hey, if the U.S. enters this war, we'll have your back, and you guys can attack America and take back Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. And us intercepting that was like a big part of the reason we even joined the Great War, which I didn't know. But yeah, a bunch of other stuff. What else did I learn about it? The fact that like the battle lines basically didn't move for 4 years. Like 17 million people died and nothing was gained. Like it's just the same. Because I was like, how do they have time to dig the trench? Because I assume this is like an ever evolving battlefront and they're moving forward. But no, they just sat in the same trenches for 4 fucking years. Like nothing happened except
just occasionally sending a bunch of more people to die.
I mean, the lines would move by like a few dozen miles or whatever, but like nothing substantial over the entire war. Like nothing got accomplished as far as claiming or retaking territory.
Hey, that's why you can't do a Schlieffen maneuver, baby. You got to just go through the Marginal. Everybody knows that. Come on.
Well, I know that word. What is that word? I should know what that is.
That's what they were trying to avoid. To go around it. So like the Germans went through Belgium to try to take France with King Albert, and King Albert was like they just like fought to the last the Belgium stuff, but that's what made it that's what broke all the treaties and blah 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 and made it a world war like immediately. It wasn't really Archduke Ferdinand being assassinated. It was like when Germany, as soon as they entered Belgium, it became like it'd be like attacking NATO.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Everyone had to sort of be like, fuck. But it's all because they didn't. There was already from the War of 1870. There were already all these fortifications between Germany and France called the Maginot Line that they didn't want to attack. So they were like, we'll just go around, and that was called the Schlieffen maneuver, and it was stupid.
I see. That was early days.
Yeah, that was like right when that was at the breakout. And then it turned into just horrible trench. I mean, the whole thing's horrible and very dumb.
Yeah. Joe, did you watch the movie?
No, not yet.
Or 1917, for that matter? They're not that much different.
I saw 1917.
Yeah, I did see 1917.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess not much to say. It's brutal.
Stuff. Yeah.
It's horrible. It's all horrible. It's a horrible time. Yeah.
Anyway.
It's kind of wild. Just trench warfare in general is
it's bonkers.
Crazy to me. Yeah, and I think about as I said, my public school system failed me, but back in the day, like the people would just go and have picnics and watch wars. I think that's insane as well. They're
what?
Like, they're gonna have a war. They're gonna have a battle down in the field. Let's go, get a blanket and watch these people slaughter each other. And then
they did that.
Thinking about, again, that's what Talmadge High School told me.
Sure. Yeah.
But just thinking about people going to like public hangings, like just like watching it, like me and my boo Friday night.
I mean, it's not that far removed from, not to be this guy, but from like UFC or that new show where they just slap each other until they give each other brain injuries. Like,
wait, you guys, what now?
You haven't seen the Power Slap show?
Wait,
not yet.
Okay,
it's called
the Maginot Line, and I was totally wrong. It was built as a response to World War I. So what, they think they couldn't go near the Ardennes? Am I thinking of the Battle of the Bulge? Why? What was the Schlieffen? Let me look into this. Sorry, guys.
Okay. You do that. Well, I'll post a link to
what you're doing that, Andy,
Power
you
Slap.
keep telling us about shows where people slap each other.
Yeah. Sorry.
I thought everyone knew this. This is, I mean, like, don't watch this clip. I don't know the specific one I'm sending you. I just like video searched Power Slap, but this is
show?
Yeah, Dana White, I think, who's the brains behind UFC, it's not the first of its kind, I guess, but yeah, people just stand opposite each other and take turns slapping each other as hard as they can. And like the clip that went viral was a guy who, instantly unconscious and goes into, I think they call it the fencer's posture or fencing posture. It's this involuntary reaction when you have a severe brain injury where your whole body clenches up and you sort of raise your fists as if in defense, but it's completely involuntary because you're unconscious. And then he gets up and his entire left side of his face is like sagging off. Like, you're watching people get concussions and lifelong brain defects.
How are these people? Are they fighting for prizes, or is it like, hey, Judge Judy doesn't have room for a small claims court, so we have this new show where you can just slap the shit out of each other.
There's got to be a cash prize. Let's see what the also known as
Sorry, can you press on this show? Because I might.
Of course. The rules. Let's see. After a coin toss, the decider goes first. The first striker has a time limit of 30 seconds to deliver an open-handed slap to the opponent. Slaps must be below the eye, but above the chin. That's, I don't know, very specific. Without leading with the palm, such that all hand-to-face contact takes place at the same time. Of course, yeah. Those being slapped may not flinch, raise their shoulder, or tuck in their chins. After being slapped, the slapped competitor then has 30 seconds to recover and get back into position before it's their turn to slap. Fights which don't end in a knockout and go 3 rounds go to a judge's decision using a 10-point system. What could that be about? Yeah, this is what went viral that I saw. I think this chronic traumatic encephalopathy researcher observed one participant displaying the fencing response after being struck, indicating serious brain injury. Greek neurologist Nicholas Evangelou called the show a recipe for disaster due to how it could cause rotational forces on the brain. Yeah, it's awful. And they don't even say in this Wikipedia article what they get out of it. I assume money, but power slap prize?
Are they just trying to bring honor back to the slap instead of a closed fist?
I guess.
They're like, slaps can be powerful too.
Wait, it's only $2,000. Oh my God, what? This can't be right. When you first Google power slap prize money, $2,000 is what shows up, but I'm not sure if it's that league or not. That is nothing. On average, a fighter will take home $2,000 for becoming the part of the match. Okay, this is weirdly written. I'm not seeing what the prize for winning is. Anyway, it's awful. I forgot why I even brought this up. But public executions. Like, this isn't. We're not that different. I don't think from those days.
Yeah.
Are we? Or did everyone's connections go out? Or is everyone watching power slap footage?
Okay, you're watching. No, sorry. Okay, all right. So
Jesse's been Googling World War I.
Yeah, I did. So I was right about the Schlieffen Plan.
Okay.
And I was right about all the stuff having to go through Belgium. They didn't want to attack the shared frontier. Germany wanted to take over Paris, but they didn't want to attack the shared frontier because most of it was heavily fortified. But that's not the Maginot Line. Okay. There's Bastogne. There's all sorts of weird shit with fortifications. There are all these like old fortifications. They just didn't want to do it. They're like, we'll take them by surprise. We'll go around, and then that triggered a absolute shit show. Now that's the extreme simple version of all of it. You know.
Well, we should wrap up the main episode and save an extra story for our Patreon patrons. But Joe, where can our listeners find you and the things you've done?
Oh, geez. Well, I'm on Twitter and Instagram as Awkwardly Jazzy. You can check out my pilot, I Adore Dolores. That's Dolores on YouTube. Would love for some of y'all to check that out. Comment.
We can link directly to that.
Yeah. And you can also check me out on my website, callmejoe.com.
Very cool.
You can find us, probablyscience.com. That's where we put all of our stories, our links and everything, and also our Patreon and PayPal donation pages. Thank you very much, everyone who helps on that front, and also who spreads the word by tweeting and saying nice things about us on the internet. You can find us on Twitter at probablyscience, individually at Annie T. Wood, at Jesse Case, and at Matt Kirshen. probablyscience@gmail.com is the email address for any questions, comments, clarifications, and stories you would like us to cover. And Joe, check Joe out and come and see me in Seattle. I mentioned it at the top of the show, but yeah, Seattle at Laughs Comedy Club, and also the week after I will be in Vegas. So come and see that.
What's the Vegas venue?
I will be at the Comedy Cellar at the Rio.
Oh, I've never been out. You know, that's not too far of a drive for me. I might
that's true.
Use that as an excuse to come say hi. Oh, and by the way, I finally, after 3 years living in the desert, finished all the bullshit to get my house rentable on Airbnb. If any listeners want a Joshua Tree vacation and to peruse the books of all the authors we've had on, which is what my entire bookshelf is, DM me on any of the socials. I'm Andy T. Wood, and I'll cut you a deal on a desert getaway.
And if any of our listeners have a place to stay, things aren't going so well for me. And I'm kidding. Jo Rou, I can't thank you enough for being on the show.
Thank you so much. I learned a lot. I probably learned a lot.
Hey.
Listeners, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.